It's Tuesday the 11th of April 2023 and I'm exploring Sheffield City Centre. So I think we'll start at Sheffield Cathedral. The cathedral sits at the heart of this great city. It even has its own tram stop. It is loved passionately by the people it serves, offering guided tours and a range of cultural events, concerts and exhibitions to enjoy, as well as providing educational and musical opportunities for children and young people. The cathedral also has its own award-winning family-friendly 1554 coffee and gift shop, stocked full of locally sourced gifts, food and beverages, including the heavenly coffee. The cathedral even has its own Sheffield mark. Isn't it beautiful? I've never been inside Sheffield Cathedral before. It is magnificent. People have been gathering on the site of Sheffield's Cathedral for over 1,000 years. Granted cathedral status in 1914, it is the oldest building in Sheffield to be open 365 days a year. It is a Grade 1 listed building with significant local, regional and national importance. And this is the crypt. Wow. Sheffield's Cathedral is a beautiful building that tells the story of the origins of the city in the early 12th century, its development through the years, its industrial heritage and an association with the cutlery and silver industries. Today, the cathedral meets the needs of a multicultural community, welcoming thousands of visitors every year. I really enjoyed my little wander around the cathedral. Lots to see, but not enough time to see everything, so I better press on. The Cutlers Hall. The Company of Cutlers in Hallamshire promotes and supports manufacturing industry in South Yorkshire, as well as Sheffield's cutlers and silversmiths. The Cutlers Hall has been on this site since 1638, 14 years after the foundation of the company. The present building dates from 1832. Heading up Church Street, I turned left into Leopold Street. Originally built as a school and then used as the education offices, these listed buildings have been cleverly refurbished, while retaining as much as possible of the original buildings to create the Leopold Hotel and Leopold Square. The Barker's Pool, after which the area is named, was a large cistern holding rain and spring water for use by the people of the 16th century town. The water supply of the pool had been enhanced in the late 17th and early 18th centuries. However, It was demolished in or around 1796 as supplies improved. The City Hall was built in 1932 and employed some of the longest span reinforced concrete beams in Europe to support the roof. It was extensively refurbished in 2003. Sheffield City Hall. Another impressive building. Retracing my steps, I went right along Pinstone Street. So this is Sheffield Town Hall and the Peace Gardens. The present Town Hall was completed in 1897, built to house the increasing number of staff needed to cope with the new duties the council had taken on over the previous decade or so, including roads and water supply. An extension was planned in the 1930s, but war preparations intervened and the site became the Peace Gardens. Their landscaping in 1998 as part of the Heart of the City project was widely acclaimed, and their walls used the same stone as the Town Hall. Walking into Tudor Square, I found Sheffield's Theatreland, including the City Library and Graves Art Gallery. The library and art gallery is an interesting building. It's what's down here that I'm interested in seeing. Originally opened in 1971, the Crucible is a world-famous theatre and iconic Sheffield landmark. It has also been the host venue of the prestigious World Snooker Championship since 1977. Ah, the Crucible. The centre of all the snooker tournaments. Do you know, I haven't watched snooker for years, but when I was in my teens, when my grandparents were still alive, we all used to sit down and watch the snooker. And Hurricane Higgins used to be playing, and Steve Davis, Terry Griffiths, Cliff Thorburn. Not watched it for a long time now, though. Next to the Crucible is the Lyceum Theatre, originally built in 1893, which was extensively refurbished in 1991. I entered the Winter Garden, the largest urban glasshouse in Europe, offering visitors to Sheffield a place to stop for a while and pause for thought. Created from sustainable larch, this impressive structure is home to over 2,500 varieties of plants, which change according to the seasons. The Millennium Gallery is integrated with the Winter Garden. Here you can see some of Sheffield's unique heritage, including the metalwork, which made the city world famous, alongside contemporary art and design exhibitions.
Okay, time's getting on now. I think the next thing for me to do is to get some food down my neck. And that building is apparently known as the cheese grater. Very appropriate, really, isn't it?
I proceeded down Howard Street to cross Paternoster Row. I could see the hubs to my right, Sheffield Hallam University's Student Union Building. Opposite this is the Showroom Cinema, an independent cinema, cafe bar and creative workspace. I then followed the cutting-edge stainless steel water sculpture to the railway station. After the station, I took a short detour along Pond Hill.
That's a quaint old pub, isn't it? 15th century timber framed hall, restored in 1992 apparently. Yeah, looking good.
Reaching Park Square, I went up the ramp. I was now on Commercial Street Bridge, spanning one of the busiest traffic roundabouts in Sheffield, and carrying a pedestrian walkway and 2 tracks of the Supertram.
Parkhill Flats. Quite a landmark, isn't it? I believe it's a listed building now.
Completed in 1961, these now listed buildings provided streets in the sky for the people of Sheffield. Parkhill Flats recently underwent a major facelift while retaining the original structure.
I really like Sheffield. It's actually one of my favourite cities. I always say that where I live, I've got the best of both worlds. I've got beautiful countryside on my doorstep, but I'm also surrounded by several big towns and cities. So I've got places like Derby, Nottingham, Manchester a bit further away, and Sheffield. And Sheffield is my favourite. It's only about 20 miles or so from where I live. and I've been here quite a few times now. I don't claim to know the area well, but I can't say what it is about Sheffield that I like. I just really like it as a city. Great place. And if I had to choose to live in a city again, Sheffield would be a place that I would choose.
Walking down the ramp the other side, I turned right beside the original terminal warehouse, which has been sympathetically restored, to enter Victoria Quays.
And this is the Sheffield and Tinsley Canal. Not been down here before. I'm not going to be walking beside the canal much anyway. I'm just going down here, cross over, and back down the other side there. Let's have a quick look though, isn't it?
Victoria Quays is a large canal basin that heads up the Sheffield and Tinsley Canal. It was constructed in 1816 to 1819 as the terminus of the canal, and includes the former coal yards of the Manchester, Sheffield and Lincolnshire Railway. The basin ceased operation as a cargo port in 1970, and the site and buildings were largely neglected. A restoration and redevelopment of 1992 to 1994 reopened the site, providing new office and business space and leisure facilities, as well as berths for leisure canal boats. From the basin, I walked over Blanc Street Bridge spanning the River Don.
Crossing over the River Don now then. Just about there, there's a woman that was walking past me. She was walking very slowly, having a fag, and she was obviously looking at what I was doing with my camera and tripod. And then as she walked past me, she just smiled and went, "Are you after me?" She went,
Circling round at the Wicker, I walked across Ladies' Bridge, taking me over the Don again. Just along from here is the Old Town Hall, built in 1807 to 1808 for the town trustees and court, who carried out many of the functions of a local council. I crossed into Fitzallen Square with the old post office building and its statue of King Edward VII. From here, I walked up High Street as I made my way back towards the cathedral.
That's my walk around Sheffield City Centre. Really enjoyed it. Yeah, really nice. Okay, I'm going to walk over to the bus station now and get my bus back to Matlock.